Welcome to the 5-Minute Prime Podcast. Quick, actionable tips to master personal finance and real estate investing. In just 5 minutes a day, we'll help you build wealth and achieve financial freedom. You're sitting across a kitchen table from a guy who's owned a duplex for 18 years. He's tired. He slides a single sheet of paper across the table, his terms, and says, "I'll carry $100,000 myself, 5%. Make it easy on both of us." Hey, Prime investors, Martin Maxwell here. Welcome back to the 5-Minute Prime Podcast. Today is a scenario. No lecture, you're in the chair. It's Invest Week, there's a real deal on the table, and by the end, you're going to have to pick a door. So let's walk it. Here's the building. A B-plus duplex, both units rented, good tenants, no deferred maintenance. He owns it free and clear. No mortgage on it at all. List price, $340,000. Now, $340,000 on a duplex renting for $29.50 a month is thin at today's rates. If you went to a bank for all of it, the payment eats the cash flow alive. But he's not a bank. He'll carry $100,000 of that price himself at 5% interest only. So watch what that does. You put $40,000 down, you get a DSCR loan. That's the investor mortgage that qualifies on the rent, not your W-2. For $200,000 at 7.25%. That payment's about $1,360 a month. Then his $100,000 carry at 5% interest only runs you $417 a month. Add it up, rent's $29.50, your operating costs, and both loans land you right around break even. And here's the part that makes your heart rate climb a little, in a good way. You just put a $40,000 key into a $340,000 door. That's the magic of a seller second. It fills the gap the bank won't. And why is he doing it? He's not being generous? A guy who takes $340,000 in cash in 1 year hands a fat slice of it straight to the IRS. Carry $100,000 instead, collect 5% on it, and he spreads that tax bill out over years instead of eating it all at once. So his tax move becomes your low down payment. Everybody's happy, for now. So you go to sign. And you read his carry terms one more time, and there it is. His $100,000 isn't a 30-year note, it's interest only, with a balloon, due in 3 years. Let me say what that means out loud, because it's easy to skim. In month 36, the entire $100,000 comes due. One payment, all of it. How do you pay it? You don't have $100,000 in cash. That was the whole point. So you refinance. You roll the remaining first, call it $194,000 plus his $100,000, into a new loan of about $294,000. And to pull that off at a 75% cash out, this duplex has to appraise for around $392,000 by then. It's worth $340,000 today. It needs to hit $392,000 in 36 months. That's roughly 5% a year, every year, in a Sunbelt rental market that, as we covered Monday, has been flat to falling. And that's the good version. If it only appraises at $360,000 when the balloon comes due, you're short about $24,000 in cash that day. Cash you have to come up with, or you become a forced seller into a soft market. And a forced seller is the worst chair in real estate. That one line item changes everything. That's not a payment plan, that's a fuse. So, 3 doors. Here they are. Door A. Take it as offered, $40,000 into a $340,000 building at break even. A great entry. Bet on yourself to refinance that balloon in 3 years. Door B. Walk. A deal that only works because somebody handed you a 3-year fuse isn't a deal. It's a countdown on a refinance you don't control. Door C. Keep the deal, change the fuse. Same $100,000, same 5%, but ask for a 5-year balloon or a carry that just amortizes so there's no cliff at all. Hit pause. Pick your door. Then come back and I'll tell you which one I'd sign. Okay. Here's how I see it. The carry isn't the risk. The 5% isn't the risk. The balloon is the risk. So let's be fair to door A first, because it's not crazy. Door A works if you have a plan to force that appraisal. Here's what that looks like. Say you put $25,000 into the 2 units over the first year, kitchens, baths, the stuff tenants pay for, and you push rents $300 a door. That's $7,200 a year in new income, and on a small building that can move the appraised value enough to make $392 real. That's a plan. With a plan like that, The balloon stops being a gamble and becomes a deadline you're built to hit. Without one, door A is hope wearing a spreadsheet, which is why door B has the right instinct. Never take a fuse you can't diffuse with money you already have. But B leaves a genuinely good building on the table, and that bugs me. So the move is door C. You don't reject the carry. You reject 3 years. Ask for 5. The seller still gets his price, still gets his 5%, still spreads his tax, and you get runway. Runway is the cheapest thing to negotiate for and the most expensive thing to be without. This is the same instinct as the +5 rule we keep coming back to on this show. You build your margin of safety into the terms of the deal, not into the hope that the market shows up to bail you out 3 years from now. Now, before you sign anything, 3 quick confirms, and they matter. 1, your DSCR lender has to actually allow a seller second sitting behind them. A lot of them cap the combined loan to value or just say no. And if they say no, the whole structure's dead before you start. 2, confirm he owns it free and clear, like he says. A clean carry has no due on sale problem. But if he secretly still had a mortgage and wrapped it, that original lender could call their loan due the day you close. A much bigger landmine than the balloon. 3, know which side of the line you're on. Because you're buying a rental, the consumer protection rules that ban balloons and demand ability to repay don't apply to you. The day you flip it around and sell with a carry to someone who's going to live there, those rules bite hard. Paper, all of it with a real estate attorney and a title company. This is never a handshake. And look, if you've ever done a seller carry that worked out, you already know the paper is the deal. This isn't fear. It's the difference between a tool and a trap, and the only thing separating them is the terms. So here's your challenge today. If a seller offers to carry, don't celebrate the down payment you're saving. Find the balloon, then model the refinance at today's rate and today's value, not the numbers you're hoping for in 2029. If it still clears with a 5-year fuse, you've got a deal. If it only works on 3 years and a prayer, you've got your answer. The full write-up, all 3 doors, side by side with the math, is linked right there in the show notes. The carry gets you in. The balloon decides whether you get out on your terms or the market's. I'll see you next episode.